Good morning. Good morning, YouTube. Hey, y'all. Hey. Good morning, sunshines. Nola. Hey, boo. How you been? Hey, Nola Reeds. Child, I haven't seen anything on anybody's channel. I do apologize, y'all. Summer has been summering over here. Yeah. So I was supposed to finish what chapter we on? Okay, first of all, y'all, let me tell y'all something. I was supposed to finish chapter 8 probably like 3 weeks ago. But the way summer school was set up, the way my doctorate class was set up, none of that took place. So summer school just ended on Friday. Yay. And real school starts again, literally for me, in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I have a conference to go to next week. So, child, I was like, let me get finish this chapter and then figure out how to finish this book. Hopefully before school starts for the kids. It's hard though, y'all. Like this space that I'm working in, it's just a different space and trying to do school too. Yeah, and I only got one class now, but it's an accelerated class because it's summer. But next semester, which starts at the end of August, mid-August, I got 2 classes plus work. So pray for me, please. Yeah. So that is why I haven't been here to finish this last chapter and this book, because for the last month, I have been working summer school as well as working on my classes. And technically today I need to do my homework. All of our homework is always due on a Sunday. So I have homework that's due tonight. So technically in my like organized brain, I should do my homework first before I come live. But if I don't come live right now, my ADHD kicks in so bad when it's time for me to do homework. Stuff that takes me like 2 to 3 hours to do will literally take me 12 hours because I can't just sit here and do the work because I'll be all over the place child. I just do. It is what it ain't. All right. So anyway, good morning, everyone, and good morning, sunshines. Happy Sunday. Today is July 31st. The year is 2023. So to all of the future watchers, whether it is in my lifetime or another, hey, y'all, hey. I was here on Sunday, July 30th, the year of 2023. My name is Organized Chaos, and you can tell future Dr. K, Dr. Key, whichever one you want to say. And my shirt for the day says considered classic because this is 51. Hey. All right, so we are going to get into chapter 8, finish up chapter 8, which will leave us with two more chapters. So I'm going to make a promise that before school starts, which gives me a good month, I will finish this book. Flat out. I'm going to finish this book before school starts. Now, what's going to happen though is once school starts this school year, I very likely won't be here very often. So I'm going to apologize in advance. I want to give some shout outs too. Shout out to my girl Nola Reeds. If you have not liked, subscribed, or tuned in to her, please do so. I want to shout out Beautiful Shalom. Please like, subscribe, and tune in to her. And I also want to shout out my girl Foxy and Family. Please tune in to her if you have not done so. And with that said, let's get into this New Earth, Eckhart Tolle. So we are on the second half of chapter 8. The title of chapter 8 is The Discovery of Inner Space. Who is the experiencer? Y'all give me 1 second. I gotta put some post-its on my book. All right. Who is the experiencer? What you see and hear, taste, touch, and smell are, of course, sense objects. They are what you experience, but who is the subject? The experiencer? If you now say, for example, well, of course, I, Jane Smith, senior accountant, 45 years old, divorced, mother of 2, American, am the subject, the experiencer, you are mistaken. June Smith and whatever else becomes identified with the mental concept of Jane Smith, I said Jane Smith, are all objects of experience, not the experiencing subject. Every experience has 3 possible ingredients: sense perceptions, thoughts or mental images, and emotions. Jane Smith, senior accountant, 45 years old, mother of 2, divorced, American. These are all thoughts and therefore part of what you experience the moment you think about yourself. What you think these thoughts. They and whatever else you say and think about yourself are objects, not the subject. They are experience, not the experiencer. You can add 1,000 more definitions or thoughts of who you are, and by doing so will certainly increase the complexity of the experience of yourself, as well as your psychiatrist's income. But in this way, you will not end up with the subject, the experiencer, who is prior to all experience, but without whom there will be no experience. So who is the experiencer? You are. And who are you? Consciousness. And what is consciousness? This question cannot be answered. The moment you answer it, you have falsified it, made it into another object. Consciousness, the traditional word for which is spirit, cannot be known in the normal sense of the word, and seeking it is futile. All knowing is within the realm of duality, subject and object, the knower and the known. The subject, the I, the knower with which nothing could be known, perceived, thought, or felt, must remain forever unknowable. This is because the I has no form. Only forms can be known, and yet without the formless dimension, the world of form could not be. It is the luminous space in which the world arises and subsides. That space is the life that I am. It is timeless. I am timeless, eternal. What happens in that space is relative and temporary. Pleasure and pain, gain and loss, birth and death. The greatest impediment to the discovery of inner space, the greatest impediment to finding the experiencer, is to become so enthralled by the experience that you lose yourself in it. It means consciousness is lost in its own dream. You get taken in by every thought, every emotion, and every experience to such a degree that you are, in fact, a dreamlike state. This has been the normal state of humanity for thousands of years. Although you cannot know consciousness, you can become conscious of it as yourself. You can sense it directly in any situation, no matter where you are. You can sense it here and now as your very presence. Your isness is the business. The inner space in which the words on this page are perceived and become thoughts. It is the underlying I am. The words you are reading and thinking are the foreground, and the I am is the substratum, the underlying background to every experience, thought, and feeling. The breath. Discover inner space by creating gaps in the stream of thinking. Without those gaps, your thinking becomes repetitive, uninspired, devoid of any creative spark, which is how it still is for most people on the planet. You don't need to be concerned with the duration of those gaps. A few seconds is good enough. Gradually, they will lengthen by themselves without any effort on your part. More important than their length is to bring them in frequently so that your daily activities and your stream of thinking become interspersed with space. Someone recently showed me the annual prospectus of a large spiritual organization. When I looked through it, I was impressed by the wide choice of interesting seminars and workshops. It reminded me of a smorgasbord, one of those Scandinavian buffets where you can take your pick from a huge variety of enticing dishes. The person asked me whether could recommend one or two courses. I don't know, I said. They all look so interesting. But I do know this, I added. Be aware of your breathing as often as you are able. Whenever you remember, do that for 1 year, and it will be more powerfully transformative than attending all of these courses. And it's free. Being aware of your breathing takes attention away from thinking and creates space. It is one way of generating consciousness. Although the fullness of consciousness is already there as the unmanifested, we are here to bring consciousness into this dimension. Be aware of your breathing. Notice the sensation of the breath. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. Notice how the chest and abdomen expand and contract slightly with the in and out breath. One conscious breath is enough to make some space where before there was the uninterrupted succession of one thought after another. One conscious breath, 2 or 3 will be even better, taken many times a day, is an excellent way of bringing space into your life. Even if you meditated on your breathing for 2 hours or more, which some people do, one breath is all you ever need to be aware of, indeed, ever can be aware of. The rest is memory or anticipation, which is to say, thought. Breathing isn't really something that you do, but something that you witness as it happens. Breathing happens by itself. The intelligence within the body is doing it. All you have to do is watch it happening. There is no strain or effort involved. Also, notice the brief cessation of the breath, particularly the still point at the end of the out breath. Before you start breathing in again. Many people's breath is unnaturally shallow. The more you are aware of the breath, the more its natural depth will reestablish itself. Because breath has no form as such, it has since ancient times been equated with spirit, the formless one, life. God formed man of dust from the ground and breathed into its nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature. The German word for breathing, Atman, is derived from the ancient Indian Sanskrit word Atman, meaning the indwelling divine spirit or God within. The fact that breath has no form is one of the reasons why breath awareness is an extremely effective way of bringing space into your life, of generating consciousness. It is an excellent meditation object precisely because it is not an object. It has no shape or form. The other reason is that breath is one of the most subtle and seemingly insignificant phenomena, the least thing that, according to Nietzsche, makes up the best happiness. Whether or not you practice breath awareness as an actual formal meditation is up to you. Formal meditation, however, is no substitute for bringing space, consciousness into everyday life. Being aware of your breath forces you into the present moment, the key to all inner transformation. Whenever you are conscious of the breath, you are absolutely present. You may also notice that you cannot think and be aware of your breathing. Conscious breathing stops your mind, but far from being in a trance or half asleep, you are fully awake and highly alert. You are not feeling you are not falling below thinking, but rising above it. And if you look more closely, you will find that those two things, coming fully into the present moment and ceasing thinking without loss of consciousness, are actually one and the same, the arising of space consciousness. Addictions. Child, I am addicted to a whole human being. I had to stop that addictive behavior. And I wrote it down. June 21st, I stopped it. And I am here to say, I don't do addiction well. It is July 30th. I have not gone back. I made myself aware. I stopped it. And I've been good. And it was difficult. It was very challenging. All right, let's talk about these addictions, y'all. A long-standing compulsive behavior pattern may be called an addiction. Guilty. And an addiction lives inside you as a quasi-entity or sub-personality, an energy field that periodically takes you over completely. It even takes over your mind, the voice in your head, which then becomes the voice of the addiction. Child, this is so true. I was literally, y'all, trying to undo addictive behaviors is so hard. Nobody talks about that part. And then when people give up on the challenges to giving up. Like, there's a reason. Having addictive behaviors, it's like it's hard. And some addictions that we think like, oh, get over that. Oh, stop doing that. It's just not that easy for everybody. All right. It even takes over your mind, the voice in your head, which then becomes the voice of the addiction. It may be saying, you've had a rough day. You deserve a treat. Let me tell y'all what I did yesterday because I paid for it today. My scale was 3 pounds heavier today, and I knew it was going to be. I was glad it wasn't 5. I know it's only temporary, but y'all, so listen, I have very addictive behaviors. So much so that I am very aware that you can't have none of that, because if you have some of that, you're going to want all of that. That's how bad my addictive behaviors are. So I really like peach cobbler. Like, I really, really like that's my jam. But I don't like cooked fruit. I like the juice. I like the crust. That's it. That's all. Give me some good flavored full juice and give me some good crispy crust. So for the first time, I was going to make my own crust and juice. So yesterday was the day. Saturday, I'm chilling. I got something to do later in the day, but on this early part of the day, I'm about to make me some crust and juice. So I wasn't going to do the homemade crust. I ain't about to do all that. So I bought the little 2 crusts in the box, the Pillsbury dough crust that's rolled up. I bought a box, the 2 come in the box, and I bought a can of sliced peaches. So I take out one of the crusts and then I slice it up into like strips. And I put it on the baking sheet, the whole thing. So I've sliced the whole thing up into these strips. And then I spray the baking sheet with, in my mind, I'm being halfway healthy, even though this shit ain't healthy at all. But listen, let me tell you. Hey, girl. Good morning, sunshine. Hey, beautiful. Child, I distracted myself this morning. I can't even blame nobody in the chat. I done sat up here and found a way to distract myself. So I'm telling y'all about my peach cobbler story from yesterday. Okay, so I cut up the pie dough. I put it on the baking sheet. I spray the baking sheet with I don't use the only thing I use is olive oil. I have a big thing of olive oil and I have the spray olive oil. So I spray the baking sheet with the olive oil. I put the crust on the baking sheet, put it in the oven, and then I started cooking up my peaches. But I don't like the big sliced peaches, right? So I pretty much dice up the peaches and it kind of turns into a puree, which is perfect. Because in my mind, I'm going to create, like, I'm going to have these dipping sticks of crust and I'm going to dip it into the puree. That way it's just straight up crust and juice and I'm going to be in heaven. Child, listen, y'all. This is what addictive behaviors does for me. I got a whole tray. It's just me. I got a whole tray of crust. So this is like you get 2 pie crusts. So this is like half of a pie, because the pie crust is you put the bottom of the crust in, you put your peaches in, and then you put the top of the crust on, right? I done cooked half of the crust, and now I have these really cute, dainty, perfectly brown, cinnamon sugared little dipping sticks. Boom, I'm winning. Child, I take that warm dipping stick, I dip it into my peach puree thingy that I done made up, and I am in heaven. It is so good to my soul, right? Y'all, I ate it all. That is my addictive behavior. I ate it all. It was so good. It was almost 1,000 calories though. Like, girl, that's like 2 meals for me in a day. I ate it all before 9 o'clock in the morning because I be up early as hell. And then I'm sitting there like, girl, you still got to get through the rest of the day. And then I had me and my friend went out to a new restaurant yesterday. So I had to have a beverage and I had to have some of the good food on the menu. Girl, I ate so good all day yesterday. And I was like, you're going to be so mad tomorrow. You're going to pay for this. And I had gotten down 3 pounds. Child, them 3 pounds came right back on up. I get them off today. I'm going to be on good behavior today. But y'all, that is how my addictive behaviors work. My addictions be addicting. And I'm like, girl, you cannot do this tomorrow. So I had that second pie crust. I cut that thing in half, put it in a deep freezer. I'm not dealing with you no more. I'll find it maybe Christmas time. I'll do around 2, and I'm only going to do half That way I won't get caught up with the whole thing being cooked. Child, yeah, I have to put myself on punishment. I be on straight punishment. Cause I'm a met. I don't know how to say no. I just be like, I'm like, girl, you done cooked it all. Like it ain't gonna be good if it ain't warm. So you gotta eat it while it's warm. So I had to have it all. I just did. It's terrible. OMG. Like I couldn't let it go to waste. But now this is another thing that's really weird. So like when I go out to restaurants, I like to taste the stuff on the restaurant. Like I just want to taste the stuff. I don't need to eat all of it. When I'm out at a restaurant, I'm not gonna eat it all. I will let the food go to waste. Now, if I'm with my BFF, she like, girl, what you're not gonna do is waste this food. So she gonna eat it. Then she gonna complain about gaining weight. I'm not gonna complain about the weight gain because I just want to taste it. I didn't want to have all the things. But when I'm at home, for some reason, the calories are different because like this is homemade. Like I controlled it, and it's not as bad because I didn't use butter. You know what I'm saying? Like I mentally tell myself all these ways of it's not as bad. Like, girl, you sprayed that, you didn't use butter. You sprayed that thing with olive oil. That's like me and my friend used to tell ourselves when you go to Whole Foods, it don't matter. You can eat whatever you want to eat out of Whole Foods because it's different. It's healthy. And the calories ain't the same. Girl, please. Beautiful said 4 donuts over here. Now, luckily, donuts don't do it for me, but let me tell you what I just did. Beautiful. So I had a craving for waffles. And I don't want to go out to the restaurants because they're going to give you the big old, I just want to taste it. So child, I ordered me like a little Amazon as my BFF. I ordered it yesterday, the day before yesterday. It came yesterday and I was going to make a waffle today, but I'm on punishment. So I can't make a waffle. I'm on punishment from yesterday. My waffle maker didn't get here on time. I probably would have made it, girl. So now I can't make a waffle today. I was supposed to make I got a little mini waffle maker for like $10 off of Amazon. It's the cutest little thing. And it probably ain't gonna last but a minute because it only costs $10. But I just wanted to have, I bought the waffle mix, bought the Belgian waffle mix. And I was like, oh, I could use that little puree from yesterday and make it real fancy. And I got some powdered sugar. Child, you is doing too much. You gonna be up if you don't stop. So yeah, I'm on punishment again for the day, y'all. I unpackaged my waffle maker and put it to the side because I can't have it today. He was on punishment. I do too. I go so my right now because school and work and weekends are when I allow myself to be a douchebag with my eating habits. And that's how I mess up. So like I can get down because like my goal now is to maintain this weight loss that I did, right? So I'm not where I was last year when I lost the weight. I probably have gained about 10 pounds back or so. And I kind of go with this 5 that I'll gain it and lose it and gain it and lose it because I can lose it during the week because I'm real disciplined. But child, come Saturday, I'm like, I'm free. And girl, you free and you done ate half of a peach cobbler though. That's not it. So pray for me, y'all. I'm gonna do better because I'm gonna do better. Thank God I've been consistently good and clean. Yeah, overall I'm good. Overall I'm good. Like I'm really disciplined. I don't eat a whole bunch of like out and about. I will make it myself, cook it myself. I really prefer to eat at home right now. And one of the things that I have done is I definitely don't drink as much as before I lost the weight. I don't even have alcohol in my home that I drink. I don't like wine. I drink literally one drink. I have one drink that I drink. That's how my OCD works. When I find a thing that I like, I do that thing consistently. People be like, you eat the same thing every day? Yes, that's how my discipline works. I have to do the same thing every day because if I put too much variety in there, then I start tiptoeing to the other side like, oh, I should do this. And then, oh, this was good too. Nope. I got a basic meal plan and I'm cool with it. I don't need no extra. I'm boring. I like the boring meal plan. And weekends, I just gotta, I can't have a half a pie. That's all. Like, girl, you do everything. Right. Everything in moderation. Portion sizes. When I'm out, I do good because I won't eat all the food. When I'm home, I don't have a good sense of portion sizes because I'm home. Like I'm home. and I ate a half of a pie yesterday. I'm greedy too, and I just be wanting it all. And it's better when it's fresh, right? Like it's just better when it's fresh. So yeah, that's my little addiction story, y'all. Yesterday was a mess. I was so mad at myself. And then like once I get mad at myself, I just be like, fuck it, girl, just go on and eat. Girl, just go. You want that? Girl, just go. Cause you are already gonna be in trouble tomorrow. So if you're gonna get in trouble, YOLO. YOLO. All right, anyway, let's finish. All right. Why deny yourself the only pleasure that is left in your life? Child, this is me talking to myself about that pie yesterday. And so if you are identified with the internal voice due to lack of awareness, you find yourself walking to the fridge and reaching for that rich chocolate cake, that pie crust, and that puree that you made, which is really good. The only thing I didn't have, it was some brown sugar. I was missing my brown sugar. I had I had the nutmeg, the cinnamon, I had the a dash of lemon juice in there. Girl, my little puree was good. I was like, where is the brown sugar? Because I don't have nothing in my house because I don't really cook like that. But anyway, okay. I digress. At other times, the addiction may bypass the thinking mind completely, and you suddenly find yourself puffing on a cigarette or holding a drink. Now, that I don't do. I don't have mindless addiction. I'm very mindful about the things that I do. I'm very mindful about what I'm doing. And I try to be as intentional as possible. So, like my behavior with my friend that came back in April, I knew he was a trigger for me. So I kind of, in that moment, because I knew he was a trigger for me, I started documenting everything. Like for me, data is everything. Y'all, this is how I know. I didn't know how. Okay, so wait, let me mark this page. I probably need to go back and start over. Let me tell y'all. This is how I know I am obsessive about my behaviors and about how I function, because I hold myself accountable with data. So much so that this beginning doctorate class that I'm taking, like we're into the work already. I have my topic for my dissertation already started. I love this school year. Okay, so one of my homework assignments, it is asking us like how we look at data, right? Different ways to look at data. In a group, on our group discussion board, like when we share our thinking, I literally looked at the dating patterns with this guy to give me the information that I need to stop dealing with him. Y'all, that's how bad I am with data. I record everything. And so because this man came back in my life and I knew he wasn't good for me, I was like, why isn't he good for you? And I was like, oh, okay, you need to figure it out because you need to have a hard stop. I knew I wasn't going to keep dealing with him. I just needed to see it clearly. And I just started recording. Like, when do you go out? When do you hang out? What do you do? What is your communication like? And once I started charting that stuff and I saw that it wasn't in my favor, it was mostly around his favor. And I was just like, this ain't it. Like, this ain't it, girl. This is not what you're looking for. This is not a mutually beneficial relationship. This is working for him. Absolutely not. And so I put that in the discussion board and I kind of put like a LOL because I didn't know if it was appropriate to like use data in that way. Child, all of my classmates was like, I never even thought to use data like that. I was like, child, it will set you free. It will set you free and it will hold you accountable for how you move through this world. When you take data on yourself and your behaviors, it is eye-opening, y'all. It really is. Drea, good morning, sunshine. Hey, thank you for popping in to say hi, and thank you for watching it on the replay, boo. I appreciate you. All right, beautiful says, yeah, Quinn, congrats. Knowing your topic this early is gonna take so much. Yep, because that's what didn't happen when I was working on my when I was working on this before. We didn't really start writing until the end. Like we took all of our classes, the stats and the qualitative, quantitative, and we took all of the things first, and then we started focusing on our topic when it got to like year 2 and 3. That's what caught me up. And then once you get there, I was at Walden then. And once you get there in the process, they try to slow roll you, because the longer they can keep you writing this dissertation, the more money they're going to get. Right? That's what happened to me. It was like almost a decade ago. So I get it. But girl, that was not it. That was not the answer. So now, this program I'm in now, child, they was like, what's your topic? What's your problem statement? What's your research questions? I'm like, damn, like we ain't like I ain't even finished. Like this ain't the real class either. This is an introductory class. I was like, I'm with y'all. I'm with this. This works for me. So yeah, I have my topic. Get back in it, boo. Get back in it. I love school, like really. I will say this. I am addicted to learning. I am addicted to knowledge. I like going to school. It just is what it ain't. And I have the data to prove it. That student loan debt that just got off my plate proves your girl will go to school. Your girl will take a class, and your girl will get a degree. I got a few, and I'm about to get another one. Let me see. I have one. Then I got them two, and then this will make 4. This will be my 4th degree, y'all. So I'm excited. And then I get to really talk my cold cash-ish in my ghetto vernacular when I become Dr. Key. I know the people at work be like, why is she like this? Girl, I can't help it. I know. All right, so anyway, I'm going to start this paragraph over because I've been all over the place with my stories and all the things. All right, so let's go. Thank you, beautiful. All right, so addictions. Let's focus. I'm going to focus. I'm going to stay focused now. All right. A long-standing compulsive behavior pattern may be called an addiction, and an addiction lives inside you as a quasi-entity or sub-personality, an energy field that periodically takes you over completely. It even takes over your mind, the voice in your head, which then becomes the voice of the addiction. It may be saying, you've had a rough day. You deserve a treat. Why deny yourself the only pleasure that is left in your life? And so, if you are identified with the internal voice due to lack of awareness, you find yourself walking to the fridge and reaching for that rich chocolate cake. At other times, the addiction may bypass the thinking mind completely, and you suddenly find yourself puffing on a cigarette or holding a drink. How did that get into my hand? Taking the cigarette out of the packet and lighting it, or pouring yourself a drink were actions performed in complete unconsciousness. If you have a compulsive behavior pattern such as smoking, overeating, drinking, TV watching, internet addiction, this here YouTube channel, or whatever it may be, excuse me, this is what you can do. When you notice the compulsive need arising in you, stop and take 3 conscious breaths. I suggest, as a dancer, you take a deep breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. For me, it settles me. It refocuses me. I'm not thinking about anything in those 3 breaths. This generates awareness. Then, for a few minutes, be aware of the compulsive urge itself as an energy field inside of you. Consciously feel that need to physically or mentally ingest or consume a certain substance, or the desire to act out some form of compulsive behavior. Then take a few more conscious breaths. After that, you may find that the compulsive urge has disappeared for the time being. Or you may find that it still overpowers you and you cannot help but indulge or act it out again. Don't make it into a problem. Make the addiction part of your awareness pattern in the way described above. As awareness grows, addictive patterns will weaken and eventually dissolve. Remember, however, to catch any thoughts that justify the addictive behavior, sometimes with clever arguments as they arise in your mind. Ask yourself, who is talking here? And you will realize the addiction is talking. As long as you know that, as long as you are present as the observer of your mind, it is less likely to trick you into doing what it wants. Inner body awareness. Another simple but highly effective way of finding space in your life is closely linked to the breath. You will find that by feeling the subtle flow of air in and out of the body, as well as the rise and fall of your chest and abdomen, you are also becoming aware of the inner body. Your attention may then shift from the breath to that felt aliveness within you, diffused throughout the body. Most people are so distracted by their thoughts, so identified with the voices in their heads, they can no longer feel the aliveness within them. To be unable to feel the life that animates the physical body, the very life that you are, is the greatest deprivation that can happen to you. You then begin to look not only for substitutes for that natural state of well being within, but also for something to cover up the continuous unease that you feel when you are not in touch with the aliveness that is always there, but usually overlooked. Some of the substitutes people seek out are drug induced highs, sensory overstimulation, such as excessively loud music, thrills, or dangerous activities, or an obsession with sex. Okay, shh. Even drama in relationships is used as a substitute for that genuine sense of aliveness. The most sought after cover up for the continuous background unease are intimate relationships. A man or a woman who is going to make me happy. It is, of course, also one of the most frequently experienced of all the letdowns. And when the unease surfaces again, people will usually blame their partner for it. Good morning, Kimber. How are you, sunshine? It's good to see you. I hope you have had a wonderful summer. All right. Take 2 or 3 conscious breaths. Now, see if you can detect a subtle sense of aliveness that pervades your entire body. Let's go. 3 breaths. Do it with me, you guys. Can you feel your body from within, so to speak? Sense briefly specific parts of your body. Feel your hands, then your arms, feet, and legs. Can you feel your abdomen, chest, neck, and head? What about your lips? Is there life in them? Then become aware again of the inner body as a whole. You may want to close your eyes initially for this practice. And once you can feel your body, open your eyes, look around, and continue to feel your body at the same time. Some readers may find there is no need to close their eyes. They can, in fact, feel their inner body as they read this. Inner and outer space. Your inner body is not solid, but spacious. It is not your physical form, but the life that animates the physical form. It is the intelligence that created and sustains the body, simultaneously coordinating hundreds of different functions of such extraordinary complexity that the human mind can only understand a tiny fraction of it. When you become aware of it, what is really happening is that the intelligence is becoming aware of itself. It is the elusive life that no scientist has ever found because the consciousness that is looking for it is it. Physicists have discovered that the apparent solidity of matter is an illusion created by our senses. This includes the physical body, excuse me, which we perceive and think of as a form, but 99.99% of which, excuse me, you guys, is actually empty space. This is how vast the space is between the atoms compared to their size. And there is as much space again within each atom. The physical body is no more than a misperception of who you are. In many ways, it is a microcosmic version of outer space. Let's get into that. To give you an idea of how vast the space is between celestial bodies, consider this. Light traveling at a constant speed of 186,000 miles per second takes just over 1 second to travel between the Earth and the Moon. Light from the sun takes about 8 minutes to reach the Earth. Light from our nearest neighbor in space, a star called Proxima Centauri, which is the sun that is closest to our own sun, travels for 4 to 5 years before it reaches the Earth. This is how vast the space is that surrounds us. And then there is the intergalactic space, whose vastness defies all comprehension. Light from the galaxy closest to our own, the Andromeda Galaxy, takes 2.4 million years to reach us. Isn't it amazing that your body is just as spacious as the universe? So your physical body, which is form, if you've been here for a minute, you know I call this thing our avatar. This is an avatar. Reveals itself as essentially formless when you go deeper into it. It becomes a doorway into outer space. I'm sorry, inner space. Although inner space has no form, it is intensely alive. That empty space is life in its fullness, the unmanifested source out of which all manifestation flows. The traditional word for that source is God. Thoughts and words belong to the world of form. They cannot express the formless. So when you say, I can feel my inner body, that is a misperception created by thought. What is really happening is that the consciousness that appears as the body, the consciousness that I am, is becoming consciousness of itself. When I no longer confuse who I am with a temporary form of me, then the dimension of the limitless and the eternal God can express itself through me and guide me. It also frees me from dependency on form. However, a purely intellectual recognition or belief that I am not this form, that does not help. The all important question is, at this moment, can I sense the presence of inner space? Which really means, can I sense my own presence, or rather, the presence that I am? Or can we approach this truth using a different pointer? Ask yourself, am I aware not only of what is happening at this moment, but also of the now itself as the living, timeless inner space in which everything happens? Although this question seems to have nothing to do with the inner body, you may be surprised that by becoming aware of the space of now, you suddenly feel more alive inside. You are feeling the aliveness of the inner body, the aliveness that is an intrinsic part of the joy of being. We have to enter the body to go beyond it and find out that we are not that. As much as possible in everyday life, use awareness of the inner body to create space. When waiting, when listening to someone, when pausing to look at the sky, a tree, a flower, your partner, or child, feel the aliveness within at the same time. This means part of your attention or consciousness remains formless, and the rest is available for the outer world of form. Whenever you inhabit your body in this way, it serves as an anchor for staying present in the now. It prevents you from losing yourself in thinking, in emotions, or in external situations. When you think, feel, perceive, and experience, consciousness is born. Hold on a second, y'all. My internet disappeared. Okay, we're back. All right, I'm going to start this paragraph over. When you think, feel, perceive, and experience, consciousness is born into form. It is reincarnating into a thought, a feeling, a sense perception, an experience, the cycle of rebirths that Buddhists hope to get out of eventual to that Buddhists hope to get out of eventually is happening continuously. And it is only at this moment, through the power of now, that you can get out of it. Through complete acceptance of the form of the now, you become internally aligned with space, which is the essence of now. Through acceptance, you become spacious inside, aligned with space instead of form. That brings true perspective and balance into your life. Noticing the gaps. Throughout the day, there is a continuously changing succession of things that you see and hear. In the first moment of seeing something or hearing a sound or more of it, it is unfamiliar. Before the mind names or interprets what you see or hear, there is usually a gap of alert attention in which the perception occurs. That is the inner space. Its duration differs from person to person. It is easy to miss because, in many people, those spaces are extremely short, perhaps only a second or less. This is what happens. A new sight or sound arises, and in the first moment of perception, there is a brief cessation in the habitual stream of thinking. Consciousness is diverted away from thought because it is required for sense perception. A very unusual sight or sound may leave you speechless, even inside, that is to say, bring about a longer gap. The frequency of duration of these gaps determine your ability to enjoy life, to feel an interconnectedness with human beings as well as nature. It also determines the degree to which you are free of ego, because ego implies complete unawareness of the dimension of space. When you become conscious of these brief spaces as they happen naturally, they will lengthen. And as they do, you will experience with increasing frequency the joy of perceiving with little or no interference of thinking. The world around you then feels fresh, new, and alive. The more you perceive life through a mental screen of abstraction and conceptualization, the more lifeless and flat the world around you becomes. Lose yourself It went away again, y'all. I froze. I froze. I'm looking at my monitor. So I'm going to wait until it comes back. Okay, it's coming back. Child, I don't know why I keep doing that. I really believe that's StreamYard because, again, y'all know I don't even use Wi-Fi to go live. I'm plugged into the hard internet. So, yeah, I feel like this is something I got to do with StreamYard and YouTube. That's just me. Okay, I'm going to start this one over. Lose yourself to find yourself. Inner space also arises whenever you let go of the need to emphasize your form identity. That need is of the ego. It is not a true need. We have already touched briefly upon this. Whenever you relinquish one of these behavior patterns, inner space emerges. You become more truly yourself. To the ego, it will seem as if you were losing yourself, but the opposite is the case. Jesus already taught that you need to lose yourself, your ego, your identity in order to find who you really are. Whenever you let go of one of those patterns, you de emphasize who you are on the level of form, and who you are beyond form emerges more fully. You become less so that you become more. Here are some ways in which people unconsciously try to emphasize their form identity. If you are alert enough, you may be able to detect some of these unconscious patterns within yourself. Let's go. Demanding recognition for something. Is that you? Demanding recognition for something you did and getting angry or upset if you don't get it. Trying to get attention by talking about your problems, the story of your illness, or making a scene, giving your opinion when nobody cares, being more concerned with how the other person sees you than with the other person themselves, using other people for egoic reflection or as ego enhancers, trying to make an impression on others through possessions, knowledge, good looks, status, physical strength, and so on. And let's just keep it being in the book. Let's just be honest. We're all guilty of some of these things in some way, shape, or form because we're humans. And our egos, whether we work on pushing them down and not letting them be us and presenting as us, it is a daily, it is an hourly, it is a minute by minute, it is a second by second exercise that we all have to do every single second of every minute of every day, right? And if we act like we don't, you're lying to yourself. So we're all guilty of some of these things in some way, shape, or form. The goal is to catch yourself. As soon as you see yourself or feel yourself entering into these spaces, catch yourself and stop. Stop. It's not ego. Are you trying to rear your ugly egoic head? No, it's not about you. It's not about you. Bringing about temporary ego inflation through angry reaction against something or someone, taking things personally, feeling offended. Child, now, I ain't gonna lie. I have some very offensive things done to me at my job right now. I am working with someone who is literally either aware of the aggressiveness or very unaware of their aggressive behaviors towards me as a Black woman in a white space. Yeah. And so speaking up and using my voice in that space, I don't feel like that is like my ego. I feel like that is necessary. But it could still be my ego, right? feeling offended, making yourself right and others wrong through futile mental or verbal complaining, wanting to be seen or to appear important. Again, all of these things are part of our everyday life. They are what they are. Just notice them, find the ego in them, and do what you can to push that down. Set that to the side and focus on the data. Once you have detected such a pattern within yourself, I suggest that you conduct an experiment. Find out what it feels like and what happens if you let go of that pattern. Just drop it and see what happens. De emphasizing who you are on the level of form is another way of generating consciousness. Discover the enormous power that flows through you into the world when you stop emphasizing your form identity. Stillness. This is our last section for the day. It has been said, stillness is the language God speaks, and everything else is a bad translation. Stillness is really another word for space. Becoming conscious of stillness, whenever we encounter it in our lives, will connect us with the formless and timeless dimension within ourselves, that which is beyond thought, beyond ego. It may be the stillness that pervades the world of nature, or the stillness in your room in the early hours of the morning, or the silent gaps in between sounds. Stillness has no form. That is why, through thinking, we cannot become aware of it. Thought is form. Being aware of stillness means you are being still. Still, just be still. To be still is to be conscious without thought. Just to be present. You are never more essentially, more deeply yourself than when you are still. When you are still, you are who you were before you temporarily assumed this physical and mental form called a person, a human. You are also who you will be when the form dissolves, when your avatar no longer exists. When you are still, you are who you are beyond your temporal existence, beyond your avatar, beyond your flesh. Consciousness, unconditioned, formless, and eternal. Y'all, you are forever. I don't know if everybody knows that or realizes that. Energy never dies. You are the purest form of energy. And when you can get into being, your beingness, and less of your humanness, your consciousness, and just being, and what Eckhart says is stillness, or the space that is created because of that awareness, you will fully become I am. The God energy that lives in you will emanate from you. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. I think I'm going to come live tomorrow. I know it's Monday. Y'all like, but it's going to be Monday. But y'all, I don't got to go to summer school tomorrow. Only thing I got to do tomorrow is I have a meeting in the morning, but that's like normal hours. If I come live tomorrow, it'll still be really, really early. So thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I know my channel is a little, it's just not like all of the extraness and all of the things, but it is a space that I absolutely love. If you drop through, find me at some time. I really, really do appreciate you being here. This is not just for us now, this is for the future. There will be another organized chaos somewhere, if it's 100 years, if it's 200 years, and they will find this energy in this moment in the year of 2023. And they're going to be like, oh my God, that's my people. And I'm going to be like, hey, girl, hey, I was here. I existed. That is why I do this. That is why this channel has evolved into this. So, will it evolve into something different? Probably. Absolutely. But for now, I love it here. And I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Beautiful Shalom says, yes, you be blessed too, beautiful. Yeah, I want you to have a good Sunday. Get your walk in today. Hopefully the weather is good where you, I think you're in Jersey or New York or somewhere like that. Get your walk in. So if I go live tomorrow, it's going to be real early like it is today. So usually I wake up today. Let me tell y'all. So this is how bad yesterday was. I was so disgusted with how much I ate yesterday. Beautiful. I kept eating. Cause you know how you need. Listen, once you fall off the bridge, you just be like, girl, just go on and stay in the muddy waters. Rinse yourself off and start over again. Like Aaliyah said, if at first you don't succeed, brush yourself off and try again. So today is my try again. But yesterday, I stayed in the mess. I stayed in the mud. So I went to sleep. I went to sleep at like 8, 9 o'clock last night. I was up at like midnight. I was like, girl, go back to sleep. So I literally woke up at like 2 o'clock this morning. I woke up, I did my morning routine. Every morning that I wake up, I literally have a huge cup of coffee. I have a Honeycrisp apple and I have a banana. That's how I start my day. That is the first meal of the day. After I do that, I play some games, I get my mind right, I meditate, and then I decide what my day is going to do. And so today I was like, girl, you got some time. You still got to do your homework, but it's so early. Go ahead and go live. You'll get the live in really early today. Then you can do your homework. So it really just depends, beautiful. If I feel like I felt this morning, it'll be like, what time is it? 6:30. I've been on for an hour. So it'll be at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Or if I want to start my homework for next week, it just depends. Girl, I don't have an agenda, girl. And then I will probably come live Tuesday morning. I'm leaving for a conference this week, so those are going to be the only days I can come live. And I might be able to come live next weekend. We'll see. But I do want to finish the book. There's only 2 more chapters left. So thank y'all for sticking with me. We've read all of this right here. Yay. We just got to finish this part right here. So it's not that much more. His chapters are just really, really long, which I don't mind because they're so like, they're just the stuff that I'm reading. It either reaffirms some things that I've already put in place for my own consciousness and beingness, but it also gives me like just a little bit more like your compass is in the right direction. Keep going, girl. Like, you got this. You can do this. That's what this book is doing for me. And especially like when we talk about relationships, when I'm talking about working relationships, this is the first year that I've ever had a working relationship with somebody that has been contentious. I've never experienced a contentious working relationship, y'all. And so navigating this space on a professional level has been challenging for me. I'm just going to keep it a bean in the butt. And listen, I'm from Detroit. I'm from the hood. And managing my code switching with this person who literally tries, and sometimes it's successful, but not all the time, to push my buttons, managing my response. My face, I don't even care about no more. But my responses are up to me. I'm a whole adult, so I know it. But child, professionally managing that is hard. It's hard. And I be saying all the things I want to say. So yeah, I be getting in trouble. That's all. That's all I been, child. I be getting in trouble. I'm glad you are walking. So let me wrap this up. I love y'all. I will see y'all hopefully tomorrow morning. God willing, I will wake up and so will you. I love you. Have a beautiful Sunday, July 30th, the year 2023. Peace. But I got to click and find my outro video. Bye, y'all.